The secret life of the hornbill. Deep within the tropical rainforests of Africa and Asia, an extraordinary bird soars through the canopy with the grace of a dancer and the presence of royalty. The hornbill, with its distinctive oversized bill crowned by a prominent casque, represents one of nature's most remarkable evolutionary achievements. These magnificent creatures, belonging to the family Buceratidae, have captivated scientists, conservationists, and wildlife enthusiasts for generations with their unique behaviors, intricate social structures, and vital ecological roles. The architecture of wonder. The hornbill's most striking feature is undoubtedly its massive bill, which can comprise up to 1/3 of the bird's total body length. This impressive appendage, topped by a horn-like projection called a casque, serves multiple functions that extend far beyond simple feeding. The casque, despite its imposing appearance, is surprisingly lightweight, constructed of thin bone plates supported by internal air chambers and spongy tissue. This ingenious design allows the bird to maintain its aerial agility while housing what appears to be a cumbersome ornament. The bill's coloration varies dramatically among species, ranging from brilliant yellows and oranges to deep blacks and pristine whites. These vibrant hues serve as species identification markers and play crucial roles in courtship displays and territorial communication. The Great Hornbill of Southeast Asia sports a magnificent golden yellow casque that gleams like burnished metal in the dappled forest light, while the southern ground hornbill of Africa maintains a more subdued black appearance with striking red facial skin that intensifies during breeding season. Beyond aesthetics, the hornbill's bill functions as a sophisticated tool. The curved upper mandible excels at plucking fruits from branches, while the pointed tip can extract insects from bark crevices with surgical precision. Some species use their bills as hammers, breaking open hard-shelled fruits and nuts that other birds cannot access. This versatility has allowed hornbills to exploit ecological niches unavailable to other avian species, contributing to their evolutionary success across diverse habitats. Masters of the canopy. Hornbills have evolved into exceptional arboreal acrobats, navigating the three-dimensional maze of forest canopies with remarkable skill. Their flight pattern is distinctive and unmistakable, a series of powerful wing beats followed by gliding phases that create an undulating trajectory through the trees. This energy-efficient flight style allows them to cover vast distances while foraging, as many species maintain territories spanning several square kilometers. The largest hornbill species, such as the southern ground hornbill, can weigh up to 4 kilograms and boast wingspans exceeding 5 feet. Despite their size, these birds demonstrate surprising agility when maneuvering through dense vegetation. Their broad wings and fan-shaped tails provide exceptional control during low-speed flight, enabling them to navigate tight spaces between branches and execute precise landings on fruit-laden boughs. Different hornbill species have adapted their locomotion strategies to match their preferred habitats and feeding behaviors. Arboreal species like the oriental pied hornbill rarely descend to ground level, spending their entire lives in the canopy where they hop from branch to branch with surprising grace despite their apparent top heaviness. In contrast, ground-dwelling species such as the southern ground hornbill have developed powerful legs for terrestrial hunting, stalking prey across savanna grasslands with a measured gait of seasoned predators. The art of hornbill cuisine. Hornbills exhibit remarkable dietary diversity, with different species occupying distinct ecological niches within their forest ecosystems. The majority of hornbill species are primarily frugivorous, serving as crucial seed dispersers for countless plant species throughout tropical forests. Their feeding behavior follows predictable patterns tied to seasonal fruit availability, creating complex ecological relationships that have evolved over millions of years. Frugivorous hornbills possess an almost encyclopedic knowledge of their territory's fruiting trees, timing their movements to coincide with peak fruit production. They can detect ripening fruits from considerable distances, possibly using visual cues, scent detection, or even subtle acoustic signals produced by falling ripe fruits. Once located, hornbills employ various techniques to harvest their bounty, from delicate plucking of small berries to vigorous shaking of branches to dislodge larger fruits. The relationship between hornbills and forest plants extends far beyond simple consumption. Many tropical tree species have evolved specifically to attract hornbill dispersers, producing large, colorful fruits with hard seeds designed to pass through the bird's digestive systems unharmed. The strangler fig represents perhaps the most famous example of this mutualistic relationship, with its fruits serving as primary food sources for multiple hornbill species throughout Asia and Africa. However, not all hornbills are exclusively vegetarian. Several species supplement their diets with protein-rich animal matter, particularly during breeding seasons when nutritional demands peak. The southern ground hornbill has evolved into an accomplished predator, hunting everything from insects and small reptiles to young birds and mammals. These carnivorous hornbills employ sophisticated hunting strategies, including cooperative pack behavior and tool use, demonstrating cognitive abilities that rival those of corvids and primates. The fortress of love. Hornbill reproduction. Perhaps no aspect of hornbill behavior is more extraordinary than their unique reproductive strategy. Most hornbill species practice a remarkable breeding ritual that involves the female sealing herself inside a tree cavity for the entire incubation and early chick-rearing period. This extraordinary behavior, found nowhere else in the avian world, represents one of nature's most extreme examples of parental investment and gender role specialization. The breeding cycle begins with elaborate courtship displays that can last several weeks. Males demonstrate their fitness through impressive aerial acrobatics, loud vocalizations, and ritualized feeding behaviors. The male hornbill courts his chosen mate by offering carefully selected fruits and insects, a practice known as courtship feeding. These offerings serve both as nutritional gifts and demonstrations of the male's ability to provide for a family. Once pair formation is complete, the couple begins searching for suitable nesting cavities. Natural tree hollows represent premium real estate in the hornbill world, and competition for the best sites can be intense. The chosen cavity must be large enough to accommodate the female and her future offspring while providing adequate protection from predators and weather extremes. The sealing process itself is a marvel of natural engineering. Working together, the male and female collect mud, dung, fruit pulp, and other malleable materials to construct a wall that completely seals the cavity entrance, leaving only a narrow slit through which the male can pass food. The female actively participates in this construction from the inside, using her bill to shape and reinforce the barrier. Once sealed, she becomes completely dependent on her mate for survival. During this imprisonment, which can last up to 4 months, the female undergoes molt, shedding and replacing her entire plumage while confined in the safety of her fortress. This molting period, during which she cannot fly, coincides perfectly with her incubation duties and the early stages of chick development. The male shoulders enormous responsibility during this period, often flying hundreds of miles daily to gather sufficient food for his imprisoned family. Voices in the forest. Hornbill communication represents a sophisticated acoustic landscape that permeates tropical forests worldwide. These birds possess an extensive vocal repertoire ranging from deep, resonant calls that carry for miles to subtle whispers used for intimate family communication. The characteristic booming calls of larger hornbill species rank among the most recognizable sounds of tropical forests, serving as audio signatures that announce the bird's presence across vast territories. The hornbill's casque plays a crucial role in sound production and amplification, functioning as a resonating chamber that gives their calls distinctive tonal qualities. Different species have evolved unique vocal signatures that prevent confusion in areas where multiple hornbill species coexist. The helmeted hornbill of Southeast Asia produces particularly remarkable sounds, including mechanical-sounding calls that resemble chainsaw engines echoing through the forest. Beyond species identification, hornbill vocalizations serve multiple social functions. Mated pairs maintain contact through regular calling sessions, particularly during the breeding season when the sealed female relies on acoustic communication with her mate. These extended calling duets can last for hours, serving to strengthen pair bonds and coordinate feeding schedules. Hornbills also employ visual communication through elaborate displays involving their colorful bills, inflatable throat sacs, and dramatic posturing. Wing flapping displays, head bobbing ceremonies, and ritualized preening behaviors all contribute to a complex language that governs social interactions within hornbill communities. Ecosystem engineers. The ecological importance of hornbills extends far beyond their immediate feeding and breeding behaviors. These birds function as ecosystem engineers, shaping forest structure and composition through their seed dispersal activities. Scientists estimate that hornbills can disperse seeds across distances exceeding several kilometers, connecting fragmented forest patches and maintaining genetic diversity within plant populations. The relationship between hornbills and forest regeneration becomes particularly critical in degraded landscapes where human activities have fragmented natural habitats. Hornbills serve as one of the few mechanisms capable of moving large seeds across cleared areas, potentially facilitating natural forest recovery. Their preference for conspicuous perching sites means that seeds are often deposited in locations favorable for germination and establishment. Research has revealed that forests lacking hornbill populations show altered species composition and reduced regeneration capacity. The loss of these avian gardeners can trigger cascading effects throughout forest ecosystems, affecting everything from insect populations to primate communities that depend on hornbill dispersed fruits. Some hornbill species have evolved such specific relationships with particular plant species that they function as obligate dispersers, meaning certain plants cannot successfully reproduce without hornbill assistance. This level of ecological interdependence highlights the vulnerability of these relationships to environmental change and emphasizes the critical importance of hornbill conservation. Navigating an uncertain future. Modern hornbill populations face unprecedented challenges as human activities reshape their ancestral habitats. Deforestation represents the primary threat, with millions of acres of tropical forest disappearing annually to agriculture, logging, and urban development. For birds that require large territories and depend on diverse fruiting trees, habitat fragmentation creates insurmountable obstacles to survival. The hornbill's dependence on large tree cavities for breeding makes them particularly vulnerable to selective logging practices that target the oldest and largest trees, precisely the specimens most likely to contain suitable nesting sites. The loss of these ancient giants can eliminate breeding opportunities across vast areas, even in forests that appear superficially intact. Climate change adds another layer of complexity to hornbill conservation challenges. Shifting temperature and precipitation patterns can alter fruiting cycles, disrupting the carefully timed feeding strategies that hornbills have developed over millennia. Rising temperatures may also affect the viability of sealed nest chambers, potentially making traditional breeding sites unsuitable for future generations. Human persecution also threatens certain hornbill species, particularly those with valuable casques or impressive size. The helmeted hornbill faces severe pressure from illegal hunting, as its solid casque is carved into valuable ornaments and sold in international black markets. Conservation organizations work tirelessly to combat this trade while educating local communities about the ecological importance of these magnificent birds. Champions of conservation. Despite the challenges, numerous success stories demonstrate that hornbill conservation can succeed when supported by dedicated efforts and community engagement. Protected area establishment has provided safe havens for many hornbill populations, while artificial nest box programs help overcome the shortage of natural cavities in degraded forests. Community-based conservation initiatives have proven particularly effective in hornbill protection. Local communities that once viewed hornbills as crop pests or hunting targets are increasingly recognizing their value as ecotourism attractions and ecosystem service providers. Environmental education programs help foster appreciation for these remarkable birds while providing economic incentives for their protection. Scientific research continues to unveil new aspects of hornbill biology and behavior, informing more effective conservation strategies. Satellite telemetry studies reveal previously unknown movement patterns and habitat requirements, while genetic research provides insights into population structure and evolutionary relationships among species. The secret life of the hornbill continues to unfold through dedicated research and conservation efforts. These remarkable birds serve as ambassadors for tropical forest conservation, their charismatic presence and ecological importance making them powerful symbols of biodiversity protection. As we work to preserve their ancient rhythms and mysterious ways, we simultaneously protect the intricate web of life that makes tropical forests among Earth's most precious treasures. The future of hornbills depends on our collective commitment to preserving the wild spaces they call home. Their secret lives, filled with remarkable adaptations and complex behaviors, remind us that the natural world still holds countless mysteries waiting to be discovered and protected for future generations to appreciate and study.